Number 5, Bloom and Gloom. Let's face it, I know that the Cutie Mark Crusaders really deserve to have their cutie marks. Anyways, this episode was trying to haunt Apple Bloom of getting her cutie mark in so many different ways. Let's face it, I didn't think it was probably that good at all of an episode. It was one of the weakest gifts of the bunch. And, so I didn't have any good heart to it. Well, just a little bit, but let's face it wasn't probably that good of an episode. Number 5, Thanks for the Memories. No, with this episode, you started to hear like this quote from like Bob Hope's case. It was Bob Hope that says, "Thanks for the memories," and that's why I think about this episode was kind of like a reference to like that quote that Bob Hope just once said in the Western movie. Number 4, Appaloosa's Most Wanted. Again, coming back from like the Cutie Mark Crusaders getting their cutie mark again. But let's face it, this one is a little bit confusing saying to me because let's face it, this episode was a reference to a TV show called America's Most Wanted. For one thing is that we got this new criminal named Troubleshoes, and so far he didn't commit any crimes. It's just that every time he does something goofy, all he does is just trips or does something silly. And his cutie mark was an upside down horseshoe. So what? It doesn't matter if you have good luck or bad luck. It's just that you're absolutely funny and you should have been in a rodeo, you clown outfit. Wouldn't that make any sense? But this one was probably not one of the best ones out of all. There's only like a few episodes, and this one doesn't really cut it. But let's face it wasn't that really good. Number 4, Amending Fences. Whew, I'll tell you what, we don't get to see that Twilight and Spike ever trying to go back to her home back in Camelot. What? So this is like the first time we ever see the two of them going back to their home, and we get like a bit of like a continuity going on now from like the very first season, the very first episode of when Twilight started to look at the book for Nightmare Moon and the whole Elements of Harmony thing. That's kind of amazing thing, just to see that. But not to mention, Twilight hasn't seen her Camelot friend in forever. It's been like almost like 5, possibly like over 5 years. It was before becoming an alicorn. She totally forgot about her friends in her Camelot. And heck, she haven't seen Moondancer in quite some time. But then when her and Spike and her friends go all the way to Moondancer's place, she was so busy just doing some other stuff that she completely forgot why she hasn't seen her friend in a long time. Number 3, Do Princesses Dream of Magic Sheep? I can understand why most people think that this episode wasn't quite good, or most of our people think that this was sort of a good episode. To me, I'm kind of with the people with the sort of kind of way. Though let's face it, we do have like a little bit of continuities going on. With Spike becoming like sort of a knight in shining armor with a cape, riding on a giant derpy. Flyer and Bun Bun looks like Cat Dog, the show that I really hate on Nickelodeon so much. But but then you also got one of the main 6 to be like Flutterbat and members of the Power Ponies, and then you got like Big Mac to become a princess. Oh, my head started to hurt so bad. Number 3, Make new friends, but keep Discord. Holy mackerel, Andy. I enjoy Discord more than the other guy is right now, but this episode was so funny. I cannot tell you where to begin with this episode. I mean, there was like so many references that I can't even point out. It's just insane. Number 2, Princess Spike. Let's face it, I didn't think this Spike episode was gonna cut it. This episode where Spike tried to help Princess Twilight Sparkle because she was so dang tired. That she can't do some of her princess stuff. But then Princess Kate just sure let Spike try to do the work for her. And let's face it, I kind of like it better if 3 of the princesses would like to help Twilight than Spike, you know? And let's face it, I'm not trying to put a blame on Spike here, but let's face it, putting Spike on the job, I know that he's Twilight's helper. Well, I can totally see that, but let's face it, all the time for the rest of the episodes with Spike in it, he doesn't do anything good. He just messes things up. And let's face it, that's kind of really disappointing for me, for Spike to do something good in life, but then something went wrong, and then nothing ever gets it's better. It just gets worse. Number 2, the main attraction. Wow, I'll tell you what. Besides his thanks for the memories and amending fences, this episode has really hit a high note on this one. Thanks to Amy Kenny Rogers for our final episode before going to Disney. Which, by the way, Miss Rogers, I applaud you with this really awesome episode that you did of the main attraction. It was well written and done. It was absolutely beautiful, and especially to the guest star of the main attraction, Lena Hall. Your singing was absolutely wonderful. Number 1, Hooffield and McColt. Ugh, let's face it, this episode really ticks me off for some odd reasons. Let's face it, I know that it was supposed to be like sort of a huge big resemblance to the Hatfields and the McColts, and let's face it, it was two family feuding over years ago. And that was like during like possibly like in the Civil War thing. But in this case, it was like in those Smoky Mountains, But let's face it, this episode didn't got my attention. I mean, I really like history so much, and I read about the Hatfields and the McColts, family feuding and stuff. But when this episode tried to do something like historical thing on the Hatfields and the McColts, it kind of sort of have this whole family feuding. I can totally agree to that, but let's face it, it didn't quite get to my attention. I think that was probably like a good episode in season 5 of MLP. Crusaders of the Lost Mark. Wow. And I'll tell you what, this is like the 5th anniversary that the show got started way back on October 10th, 2010. October? Never mind. But anyways, wow. Amy Kenny Rogers, you did a fantastic job with this Cutie Mark Crusaders episode. I was completely surprised to see that the CMC finally gain their cutie marks. Well, I hope that you enjoy the top 5 good and bad MLP Season 5 episodes. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel, liking the video, and support me on my Patreon. As always, I'm Dan Timmons saying follow your dreams. Have a wonderful day, everybody.